Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lexi and today we're doing another pick a card. Today's pick a card is what is your Christmas blessings? So what realizations, what up-levelings, what blessings are coming over the festive period, the Christmas period for you guys. I was supposed to do this video last year and I never got around to doing it, so I was adamant I wanted to get this video started for this year because I missed out on using my Christmas deck last year, so that's why we're doing that today. So I want to get straight in really, and like I said, we're just going to be taking a look at the blessings, newer energies that are coming in over the festive period. So let's get in this. So pile number one, we have the smoky quartz. Pile number two, we have the rose quartz pint. Pile number three, we have the blue calcite. So see which crystal you are drawn to. The timestamps are going to be in the description box as usual, and I will see you guys at your timestamp. Hey pile one, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what Christmas blessing is coming in for you over the festive periods. You guys chose the smoky quartz. One thing I was saying, when I was opening up to you guys' energy, there was a lot of white. It was like a bright white energy, and I know the color white is connected to the crown chakra. So you guys may be going through some expansions in your crown chakra, getting a lot of downloads, but I think that it's more than that. I feel like the white coming through for me, it's like a soothing protective layer that I feel like is around your energy. Could just be that you've done a heavy protection this morning and I'm seeing it as I step into your energy, but there's somewhat of a soothing. It doesn't feel so heavy like a huge flush in regards to your energies. It feels more like it's helping balance your energies out. Or maybe this year you've gone through a really big release and it's almost like in the spaces where you've released a lot and there was maybe like holes, it's like there's like cosmic energy coming through from the crown chakra to kind of balance that energy and fill it back up. There's almost this feeling through December, specifically like Sagittarius season, of you guys feeling more in alignment with your higher self, and feeling more like you've had a period of losing yourself, now you're finding yourself. There's a strong feeling of that. And it's also a feeling that feels silent. It's not like I don't need to tell everybody that I'm in this new phase. I don't need to tell anybody that my interests have changed. I don't need to tell anybody how good I'm feeling. It's just radiating off me. It's just in the moment. Like I feel very present. Like I've been plugged back in and it's not even a case of just getting used to it. I'm just kind of savoring this feeling right now. It's really, really interesting, but let me get the cards. Pile number one's Christmas blessing, please, spirit guides. Pile number one. Oh goodness, I feel like over the Christmas period some of you guys may be going through a much needed respite, or you're being called to go through a bit of a respite, because like I said, there's a reboot that's been happening. So some of you guys may have been feeling a bit frustrated in the sense that you've been feeling a bit one-dimensional, but I feel like this Christmas period, a message is coming through is you're almost being given like a layaway to kind of like rest up and just be very present in the moment, and kind of be aware of how much you've released and how much you've healed, and be aware of how much is opening up. It's almost like you know when people say the present is oh my god, what's the saying? Big Sean said it. What is it? It's something like today is a gift, that's why they call it the present, or something like that. There's like a lyric that Big Sean says in Sinead Aiko's song Moments, and there's this feeling of you guys being very present in your physical body, present where you are, and they're almost showing me like a physical gift, like a present, like that's part of your blessing, as you're kind of like being rewired. It's almost like you're seeing results in the Christmas period in December. Pile number one, Christmas blessing for my pile number ones, please. A Christmas blessing for my pile number ones. Okay, so you guys have the 9 of Cups. There's a lot of realizations I feel like you guys are going through over the Christmas period, and I think you guys are starting to look back at connections that didn't work out where maybe you were sad about them for some time, or job opportunities that didn't work out and you were sad about for some time, and there's this feeling of being very present and looking back and going, I'm really glad that didn't work out for me. That was actually a blessing in disguise. Oh my god, that was actually a blessing in disguise that I didn't get that job, otherwise I wouldn't have got this. There's a lot of that coming through, and I think that's why as well I was being shown a lot of that white energy, that crown chakra energy, because it's like, as you're being tailored in to connect to your higher self, there's a lot of aha moments and realizations where you're able to look back. It's almost like you're looking at your past, even part of this year as like a past life, and you're like, oh my god, like I really understand that situation now. And I feel like it's making you feel good, because there's this feeling of, you know what, I really was protected this whole time, or you know what, I was really being redirected this whole time, and if I hadn't have gone through that, I would not be here feeling this way. And I've really grown, and I'm looking back, and I really, you know, there's something that you may get, like a message, whether it's a download, or you may hear through the grapevine of maybe a friendship or a relationship you might have been supposed to have been in, or you would have wanted to have been in, and it didn't work out, and you're actually saying, do you know what, that wasn't all it was cracked up to be. I'm actually really glad I didn't have that situation. Now there's like a feeling of that coming through as well, and I feel like there's a book just being closed, and it's not even a sense of the universe is doing it for you or anyone's doing it for you. You're just having this realization, like, I'm completely detached from the past now, and I just feel this in the moment feeling, and it's very beautiful. I'm hearing the Magic Hour song by Janae Aiko, and she sings, it ain't perfect, but everything's beautiful now. So there's a lot of realizations like that, and just being happy for being in the moment that's coming through. Pile number 1's Christmas Blessing. Let me grab that card. It's very cold in this room today. We have the Tower. I forgot to say in the intro as well, my little kitten Luna has decided that she's old enough to run around the house now, instead of being contained to a particular room. So she made the decision on her own, and she's been running about. So if you do hear noises, that is Luna. Pile number 1. Pile number 1. What is my pile number 1's Christmas blessing? What is pile number 1's Christmas blessing? Ace of Cups. Yeah. Oh, I love this for you. It's it's like an emotional fulfillment and an aha moment. And it's like, with the 9 of Wands at the back of the deck, we have that as well. I think I'll keep that in view for a second. I'll keep that by here for a second. Yeah, I feel like there's this aha moment, there's an inner peace, there's this, you're feeling the love back. It almost feels, it's almost like there's a lot of love and emotions and everything being turned back to you. Time periods where you felt powerless, I feel like you're coming to that realization that you always had your power all along, and it was a delusion. And there's this beautiful feeling of, it's no one handing it to you. It's not like the universe, like, you're finally worthy, here you go. It was all there ready for your take. And I think you're coming to this realization within yourself, like, oh my god, I always was that bitch. Like, I always was that person. I always was beautiful. I always was powerful. I always was worthy. I always had that. And there's this realization that you're having where there's a lot trickling in. And I don't think December is just like, okay, the blessing's coming in December. I think that this energy you're fully in, which is this beautiful kind of like receiving energy. I'm shocked the Empress didn't come through. It's like that feeling of gratitude and all those aha moments. I feel like it's set in motion for a lot of blessings to come through moving forward. And you'll find that going into 2023, a lot of things are going to materialize because of the energy you're finally stepping into over this Christmas period. And again, with the Tower card, I'm seeing you looking back at, you know, towers that have fallen, and it's like, no, that had to fall, because I never would have really been happy there. Or if I would have stayed in that situation, I would have been stuck, or I would never have evolved to the point that I feel now. No, I was searching for this feeling that I'm feeling now, and I was searching for it in other people, but it's here. It was me all along. And there's a lot of that coming through. Some of you guys may be having that realization that you're finally out of a shadow period where you were doing a lot of shadow work. Some of you guys may be having a realization as you're coming out of a void state or an ego death. It's like a breath of fresh air, but it doesn't feel like the Fool too much yet. It almost feels like the Temperance, and you're just savoring in that energy that's coming through, because right now the blessing is more energetic. Right now the blessing is you feeling good in your own skin. Right now the blessing is you finally seeing things from a higher perspective, because you've climbed to that higher perspective and you're looking back. Everything's making sense. You know when you cry because you're just happy, or you have this realization and you just cry? Or am I just very emotional? I get like that, where I'll have a realization, or I'll see a synchronicity and I'll just bawl because my heart's like, oh my god. I feel like you guys are having those. It's okay if you don't cry. Maybe I'm just emotional, but I see a lot of that. I see you guys feeling full from the heart, and it's you really feeling that energy within yourself. And I think as well, you may have in the past with connections and people in the past almost felt like, oh, that person didn't love me, or that person didn't have love for me. And there's also a realization of you loved me to the capacity you could at the time, and also finally receiving and breathing in that love that they may have shown you, where they might not have been able to show it in the most healthy way. I see you guys really understanding that and taking that into. So there's a lot of love and a lot of understandings and a lot of aha moments and a lot of downloads coming through, because I feel like what's been happening is you've been reparted energetically. So it's like you know, when you jump a paradigm, it's like you, as a plant, are taken out of your tiny pot because you can't grow there anymore because it's a tiny pot. And then you get taken out and then you get put into a new pot with new soil for more room for you to grow. I feel like this period is you having a lot of aha moments, and the stems on your plant, the branches on your tree are starting to grow a little bit more and bear some fruits. And I feel like that's where you're at, but there's this energetic piece that you're reaching in the month of December that I feel like is your blessing, but I feel like it's just the first layer of your blessings now that you're having these aha moments, being able to receive and having this energy coming through, you know. It's like I'm being shown a rainbow. You may be seeing rainbows a lot. I find Spirit will show that, like, whenever I'm coming out of one phase and into another phase, I'll see rainbows. It hasn't happened so much this time around, but right before I went through like my ego death, my Kundalini awakening and all of that, I had reached an up level, and I was seeing rainbows constantly, like, this chapter's over, and I feel like you guys might be seeing that because it's just come into my brain, the rainbows. But I think it's more so signifying the end, like you've put the book down and there's a lot of love and excitement for this new phase. And I think that you've rummaged through the towers that were left behind enough to take what you needed, find where you might have gone wrong in the past, or what you like and what you don't like, taking that from different connections, because you may even be looking at connections that went wrong and gone, you know what, I didn't like the way you treated me, or I didn't like these aspects of your personality, but I really liked when you did this, this, and this. And taken from relationships and friendships that you've had, where it's like, I like this, 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 and this, so I'm looking for that, but I don't want that. You know what I mean? And it's like really analysing what you want moving forward. It feels very peaceful. There's a lot of forgiveness. There's a lot of wholeness. There's a lot of love, which is really, really beautiful. It's like, I think that you're finally seeing yourself. And I think that's the blessing. And Spirit's like, you're the one that brought this blessing to yourself, and they want you to acknowledge that. Pile number one's Christmas blessing. You may be feeling it quite jolly as we go into Capricorn season over the festive period. Like, around Christmas period, you may be feeling a lot more jolly than usual. You might be someone that doesn't really care too much for Christmas, or you know, you might get a little bit anxious around Christmas time. I know it's a time where everyone's around their families, but I see a lot of love and seeing the beauty in things and getting excited over little things, because it's just this zest for life that's coming. And I say it's coming, but I feel like some of you guys are already feeling that, and having that realization. Oh goodness, let me grab the card. I haven't been crying, by the way. I'm just really cold in this room. Pile number, I think I've actually got a bit of a cold coming, to be honest with you. Pile number one, please. Pile number one, please, Spirit Guides. Pile number one's Christmas blessing. Some of you guys may get an apology from someone. It doesn't feel like a past connection, although it could be. If you guys have children with someone, it could be the mother or father of the children, or it could be a parent. It feels like something in regards to a family dynamic. You're either going to be having a heartfelt conversation with someone, or there's going to be an apology given to you. There's something that's going to be meaningful, and remember, this is general, so it's not going to be for all of you, but there's a feeling of like a meaningful message coming through, or getting an apology. And if it doesn't happen physically, it could even be spiritually. So you could have someone's higher self visit you during a meditation, or it could be through a dream, or it could be something you've set up, like, I want to connect with this person's higher self, and you may get an answer. There's like an answer or realization coming in that helps put things into perspective as well. And if it's not someone else bringing it to you, you're just realizing it yourself naturally. So it's going to be different for all of you, but there's something about that coming through. I see a lot of forgiveness. Like, I'm not Tinashe has a song called Let Go, and she sings in it, I'm no longer mad at you, baby. It's a nice day, come outside. The weight of the world I carry, but I eventually, I do decide when I let go, you know. So that's the song. And I just think it's a really pretty song, but that almost feels like it's coming through here. It's like you don't feel those chains to the past that you felt for a long time. It's like I'm finally here, I'm free, and I feel a lot of love. And on the Ace of Cups, they have lotuses in the bottom here. So, well, I think they're lily pads, but my mind always looks at them like lotuses. So that's that. So what do we have? We have reinvention. That hasn't shocked me. And we have a rainbow on here as well. So rainbows are super significant for this reading. What else do we have? We have inspiration. I see you guys like feeling extra jolly this Christmas period, like listening to Christmas songs, feeling excited, like getting ready for Santa. Like, do you know what I mean? I just see a lot of excitement that I almost feel like maybe you've been in a little bit of a shadow period for some time, or an ego death, or doing this alchemization, that maybe you haven't felt that inner child feeling that comes out through Christmas time a lot recently, over the last couple of years or something. Whereas I see you guys feeling it, particularly this year, because it's like you see the beauty. It reminds me of like when you go through a spiritual awakening and then you wake up to the light, and then you wake up to the shadow, but then once you've woken up to the shadow, you have that full rounded perception. And then it's like when you see the light again after being in the shadow for some time, it's like this universal understanding of both sides, but there's this beautiful love that you feel when you tap back into that light energy. And that's how it's making me feel, but you have that deeper understanding because you've met your shadow. So it's a really beautiful, wholesome feeling that I'm getting. Pile number ones. Ooh, well, these cards just want to run away from me today. We have creative luck. Look at the music here as well. I feel like, I mean, she's playing there. I think that's a banjo. And then we have the harp here as well. There's something to do with you guys getting your creative spark back as well. Feeling really super excited for what's to come. That's what happens when we tap back into our higher self, and we have a desire to tap into new hobbies, new creative outbursts. We, you know, see our career differently and we want to add on there, or maybe change careers completely. There's a lot of that coming through, especially with reinvention. It's like I'm fully tapped into who I am now. I no longer have the weights of the past manipulating my idea of life or what I want. I no longer have my shadow maybe controlling the show. I've got a balance out of that. And now I'm fully tapped into who I am, and now I know exactly what I want. So I see myself deeper, so I understand more deeper, and there's this beauty coming through. Pile number one, and I see you guys getting very inspired by a lot that's going on around you, but also getting inspired as to where you're going next and who you are. I think that you're in a period of getting to know yourself, but it's like you're falling in love with yourself and just life again. And I think that's the blessing coming through. And I keep being told to say, you brought this, you brought yourself here, you did this. It's like this welcome home feeling, like you've done this. Round of applause, you know. So yeah, I see you guys getting super inspired by these feelings that you're getting to. Maybe wanting to travel a little bit, or wanting to take up hobbies, especially in the new year. I see you really utilizing this inspiration where you want to head next. Maybe you may want to change up your home a little bit, you know, change like some furniture, get a bit creative, maybe throw out some old clothes and things like that, and buy some new ones. There's a lot of that coming through. Pile number one. In the back of the deck we have harvest. So I feel like you've already tended to your crops. I feel like you guys are seeing the harvest of your hard work over the Christmas period, over the festive period. Yeah, definitely. So let's pull your Christmas cards. I've been waiting like all year to use these. Pile number one. Pile number one's Christmas blessing, please, spirit guides. Pile number one's Christmas blessing. I feel like you guys have had to really fight for yourself, because there's this feeling of no more struggling. And I'm not saying, you know, things won't happen like that are quote unquote bad anymore, but it's like you've reached this higher awareness that you're okay no matter what happens. Like you've evolved to a point where nothing can knock you off the pedestal, you know, because we always have ups and downs in life, but I feel like you've reached a level of detachment, but also control over your own inner being, specifically your emotional being. So we have ringing the bells. Ring thy bell to cast them out, ring thy bell and dance about, swirl the sounds amidst the winds, nowhere to hide, for all will ring. Love that. Okay. I'm hearing when I put that card down, it's a celebration every time we link up, which is the Nicki Minaj song Moment for Life. When you listen to that song as well, like Moment for Life, and I'm thinking of like the bells ringing, it's like, you know, when you come into that Christmas period and let's say you go somewhere where they turn the lights on a Christmas tree and everyone's really festive, you've got the Christmas music playing, there's all Christmas foods around, there's bells ringing. It's like human beings have created such a cute time period where the inner child comes out and there's so much magic and wisdom, and, you know, with, you know, Santa himself and like the reindeers flying about. Like, I know reindeers are real, but like the flying reindeers, like that's very out of this world, but yet it's like practiced even in like a 3D reality where people don't believe in anything, you know, beyond this physical realm. So there's always, even as a kid, this mystical inspiration and this feeling, and you're like in the moment and you all feel it, you know what I mean? I'm just thinking of when I'd, you know, go to like Christmas things when I was younger, you all feel it. It's like a universal thing. And it doesn't even just have to be Christmas, it's like birthdays and things like that. Like whatever culture you're from, like you all get together and you all have this outpour of love and there's a sense of community. And I'm feeling that from you guys, like your heart's full. It's like the bells are ringing, like this is significant. Like I've just made it somewhere. This is significant. I need to pat myself on the back. Like this is beautiful. And it's almost like the bells ringing and spirits around you, like we've done this, you know, we're here. Like there's a strong feeling of that and you're feeling it, you know what I mean? You're feeling it. Let me pull one more card. Pile number 1, please, spirit guides. Pile number 1, please, spirit guides. Pile number 1, please, spirit guides. Pile number 1's next blessing. We have gratitude. Literally, we have gratitude. All that I am and all that I'll be, forever in gratitude I'll eternally be. And look at that, and she's lighting her way through the snow with her heart. So I think there's like a gratitude of you finally seeing yourself, because it's like I went through that dark forest and I'm still here and I still have my heart and I'm still, you know what I mean, I'm still understanding and I have this forgiveness and I get it now, and there's an aha moment and it's like I've still got my light. You know what I mean? And I'm proud of myself and I'm so grateful, because now there's this, where's the card? Now there's this harvest that I'm here to receive, and I brought myself here and I know I'm worthy of it now. The harvest was always there, but you had to see that you were worthy for it, and I think that you're realizing that. And I feel like you guys are feeling more confident just in your own skin naturally, and who you are. Maybe a job that you have, maybe, you know, if you're connected to your psychic abilities, like feeling very confident in them, or whatever sort of practice you have. I just see a lot of that and just feeling really comfortable, and it's like this completion. It feels like a completion. And the back of the deck, I thought it said completion, but it doesn't. It says contemplation. It breathes in stillness of all that is, exhaling all that isn't, coming from the ends of the starts and the highest of the lows. Here I gasp for the answers to unfold. That's the thing. I feel like through December, I feel like you're someone that does contemplate a lot, especially after this time period that you've been in. Some of you guys are being shown the number 3, so you could have been in this transformative period for about 3 years. It doesn't have to be, it could be 3 months you've just been doing heavy shadow work, but whatever the case, I feel like you've been in contemplation, you've sat with your darkness, you've sat with your past, and now there's these answers coming in and these aha moments, whether it's from other people or from spirit or just you reaching them within yourself. And I just see you guys really seeing your own growth, and having gratitude for yourself, which is bringing in this abundant energy that is going to then bring physical manifestations and abundance moving moving forward, but this energy you're feeling, it feels whole. I feel comforted. I feel like I just want to dance for no reason. Like I just want to dance and feel happy, and that's kind of how I'm feeling. So pile number 1, that is what I have for you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed the reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey pal 2, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what your Christmas blessing is going to be. So you guys chose the rose quartz. I'm going to start with tarot, and then we're going to move into your oracle cards. Straight away, the first thing I'm hearing is blessing in disguise. That's just something that I've heard. I don't know how that's going to correlate with the reading, but I just heard that. So it could be a blessing that you don't see until after the fact. But we'll get into it and see what that's about. Pile number 2's next blessing, the Christmas blessing. Pile number 2. What blessing is coming through in the festive period for my pile number 2's? So we have the Knight of Cups. Pile number 2's Christmas blessing. Christmas blessing for my pile number 2's. The Hermit. Christmas blessing for my pile number 2's. The Christmas blessing for my pile number 2's. What blessing is coming in over the festive period for my pile number 2's? Back of the deck we have the 8 of Wands. Okay. Okay. Something quite interesting is coming through, and I don't know if it's going to be for the full reading, but this is what they're asking me to speak about. I see that you guys have, similar to pile number 1, you've grown a lot, but it's more than just like, okay, I've alchemized, I've done shadow work. It's more than that. It's like I've grown up emotionally, or I've grown up mentally, or I'm super aware of what I like and I don't like now, and I feel like there's this freeing feeling that was similar to pile number 1, but I feel like theirs was more general, whereas this is on a specific situation of somebody from your past, and you feeling free and liberated from the situation. Like, I don't want this anymore. Who I am, that wouldn't have made me happy, or I can see through the BS, because it's like this person's bringing in this Knight of Cups, and you've got this light here, like the Hermit. It's like you're seeing through it because you've done this inner evaluation of self. So there's this realization, and I see you guys being past something that has maybe plagued you for a little while, where you've been thinking about it for a little while and focused on it. So I see a release there, and I see you guys moving forward. Similar to pile number 1, there's like an aha moment coming through. And when I was opening up to your pile, I heard the song Last Christmas by Wham. And you know, he sings, last Christmas I gave you my heart, but the very next day you gave it away. There's almost like a feeling, hello Veda, hi baby boy, have you come to say hello? This is Veda, guys. Say hi. You like being on camera, don't you? Yes, you do. Okay. But like I was saying, I feel like there's a realization. And it's like you're putting something to bed. And I feel like you may not see it at the time, but this realization and this forgiveness and this aha moment, similar to pile number 1. You may have been drawn to pile number 1, but I feel like this is for a specific situation, whereas pile number 1 was general. I just see this being a closing of the book for you to be open to love moving forward. I feel like the reason that you may have fallen short in regards to love is maybe you were thinking back to a particular situation, or there was a wound there. Was I feel like over the Christmas period, it's like I completely see through that now. That isn't even something that I want. And there's a forgiveness and an understanding, and even like looking at it like, you know what, I've learned from this, and when I was in that energy, that's why I attracted you in, but I'm not there anymore, so I'm not even going to fall for that. And then I see you guys having that understanding. That's what brings in a connection moving forward. So it's like, I'm being told this is coming through for you guys to know. Over the Christmas period, I don't particularly feel like someone new is coming in over the Christmas period, over the next 2 weeks, but I feel like the energies that you are stepping into, and these realizations and this forgiveness and this rebirth that I see you guys having in your heart space, that is what is bringing in that blessing moving forward. So you may not be able to see it in this particular time period, but it's opening you up to love moving forward, but you just can't see the pathways being woven yet. And it could even be that some of you guys are even pulling out that last splinter. I don't see it too much, to be honest with you. I see you guys very stood in your own energy and being like, that's not something I'd want, or I don't even want an apology from this person now I've moved on. But for some of you guys, you may still be purging a little bit of that out, but for at least 90% of you, I feel like it's done. But this energy of forgiveness, and I understand it now when I'm moving on, it's the blessing because it's the seed being watered to bring something in new moving forward, because you're telling the universe what's in your own remit and telling the universe, that's done, this is what I want instead. And that's what's creating the timelines moving forward, you know? So that's something that Spirit wanted to talk about straight away. Because we have the back of the deck here being the 8 of Wands. So it's like you're choosing to let go of a situation that maybe you even didn't want it to be there, but then energetically there was still like an apology that you wanted, or a release that you wanted, or there was something there maybe like a couple of months ago, whereas it's done. You just decide in your brain it's done. I see beyond. I want a King of Cups, not a Knight of Cups now. I see that for you guys. So it's like you're letting it be. So let's pull more cards. I think that's why they're saying blessing in disguise, because it could even be you guys not seeing it. That's the thing. I feel like you guys aren't physically seeing the blessing right now because it's happening energetically. So it's like you can't see that what you're doing in the month of December is bringing in that blessing. I hope that makes sense. Pile number 2. Christmas blessing for my pile number 2s. Oh, we have creative luck. Pile number 2, please, Spirit guides. A Christmas blessing for my pile number 2s. A Christmas blessing for my pile number 2. Because we have renewal. Some of you guys may have been drawn to pile number 1. But I just think for you guys, my pile number 2s, I think that this situation of maybe letting go of someone or letting go of an energy like that, it's been a long time coming. For you guys to feel like completely in love with yourself and not need anyone to, you know, apologize, or really understanding your inner child to be like, you know what, we deserve better than this, and I've poured into myself, and there's also this feeling of I'm enjoying my life and my own time on my own right now. If you're to come in, you need to match this frequency, and whoever this person is, and it could be more than one person, you don't match that frequency, you know? So it's like the universe is like, oh, they don't want that. Oh, right, okay. And when I say that, it's not the universe holding things and handing things to you. It's you and your energy, because you're creating your own reality. It's you and your energy going, this is what I like, this is what I'm tailored to, this is my path. You know what I mean? Because all that is the universe, everything, it's energy. So when you direct an energy, it comes into the physical. So we are always manifesting from the subconscious and the conscious reality. And sometimes our fears and wounds can wind up manifesting things in for us because we're wanting something validated, or we're wanting a balance to an energy that may be imbalanced within ourselves. So we can manifest things in them, but it helps trigger things into the conscious reality to make us aware of it, so we can release, decide it's not for us, and then it's gone. And then it's like, well, actually, I'm tailored to this. So you're consciously and energetically telling energy everywhere, this is what I want, and then it manifests physically for you. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. Because sometimes I think people see it as the universe is holding things away, and that's not the case. Pile, I'm not going to use them cards just because a few fell. Pile number 2, please, Spirit guides. Pile number 2. Pile number 2 is Christmas blessing coming in. Pile number 2 is Christmas blessing coming in. You guys also may be feeling super romantic over the Christmas period. I feel like it's both. It's you guys feeling super romantic, which again is helping draw energy in and really tailoring what you would like, which is kind of like sending out that call and that energy. But for others of you, it's like you guys are feeling that love feeling, but it's for yourself, and really pouring into yourself and giving to yourself, taking care of yourself, whether that's physically, appearance wise, emotionally, just having a good time of life. I see you guys really nurturing self and pouring into yourself. That's, you know, the lady here holding the peach. It's like I'm giving that abundance to me, so your energy naturally is in receiving then for that energy to come in and also give to you too, you know. We also have reinvention. Similar cards came through for pile number 1. I just feel like you may have been drawn there, to be honest. I'm hearing better days. Yeah, reinvention. I see you guys, it's like you're more in tune with your heart. That's what it is. You're more in tune with your heart, what your heart wants. I feel like your shadow isn't, you know, projecting into your reality what your shadow wants and all of that. It's like you've balanced it out. So your heart's like, I want joy. I want, you know, everything I'm giving to myself, I want it mimicked back. Like, I give a lot. I want to be able to receive a lot too. So it's balanced. Like, I want this, I want that. And it's like what you're set in motion in December is then what's bringing it in. So there is this rebirth with the snake here as well. And this rainbow coming in. It's like new beginnings. There's a rebirth here. Similar to pile 1. And then we have joy here at the back of the deck. So it's like you're seeing yourself, fully seeing yourself, seeing your beauty, seeing all of that, and really feeling it and honoring it, so that that's then repeated moving forward and you get more of it moving forward, you know. So you might not see the blessing physically over December, but what you will see and feel is a love and a lot of commitment to self, and that joy within yourself, which is the set in stone for romance moving forward. It is romance. Because normally I'll say, oh, it could be friendship, it could be co-workers and things like that, and it could be, but I feel like for a lot of you, you know, with the pinks here on the joy card, and then you guys having the rose quartz and the 6 of Cups energy here as well, it feels like romance to me, to be honest with you. And I see as well over this, I don't know whether it's going to be now or it may come through in the new year, like January, February time, but for some of you guys it's already coming in. I see a lot of people being drawn to you, drawn to your looks, drawn to your heart, drawn to this glow that you're emitting out of you because you're pouring into you. I think that's the call that they're talking about. Like, you may even get a lot of offers, whether you're already getting them through the month of December or going into like January, February. I see a lot of offers coming through, like, let's go do this, let's go do that, let's go on a date, or people trying to get to know you out of nowhere, and you're like, where has this come from? But I think it's the call that you would have set in December, the energy's then coming through. So it could even happen as early as December, but I do see a lot more so physical things and people stepping towards you January, February. Like I said, for some of you guys it could be sooner, because you could have been set in this intention through November, October as well, you know. But I see people really seeing you, being drawn to you, and in that sense, that's not just romance, that's friendships, people wanting to get to know you, people wanting to explore your brain, getting to know what you're up to in your everyday life. It could be co-workers, you know, wanting to work with you, people wanting to like partner up with you and like projects and things that you're doing. It could be like art and things getting recognized. There's a feeling of that coming through, which is part of the blessing. You're being seen, and it's almost like, and it's funny because it's like the Christmas period, but it's like you're the star and the 3 shepherds are like bringing you gold, frankincense and myrrh. There's like a feeling of that coming through, but you've set that in motion as the blessing for December, and that's why it's the blessing, because it's the call you're setting out. Do you get what I mean? For the 3 shepherds to come and give you the gifts, you know what I mean? Or for romance to later come in, or for people to be really drawn to you that way. It's like you've set it out. You may be doing you know, a lot of like love rituals and romance rituals and things like that as well. And if you're not, you're being called to definitely do that, because I'm being shown a bath with rose petals and rosemary in the bath. So there is a feeling of that. I'm seeing someone like rub rose petals over their skin. So that's definitely something you might want to do if you're interested in that. But I see you just exuding a lot of light. And looking back at situations like, I don't want that. I really don't want that. That didn't make me feel good, and I like to feel good, so I don't want that. No, thank you. And it's that shake up, you know. Pile number 2's, oh goodness. Pile number 2's Christmas blessing. You may be working with Aphrodite, We have perseverance. Stay in thy power, dear child, for thy lonely is never alone. When the world is dreadful upon thy, turn to the spirits within thy. So yeah, so I feel like it's almost like, you know, when Snow White ate that apple from the evil queen, it's almost like you've grown within yourself, become a lot more emotionally intelligent, mentally intelligent, to still have that empathy, but it's like you pour into yourself first. Do you see how she's got these apples and they're over the floor? It's almost like you've literally gone and got your own apples and filled up your basket full of apples. So when this evil queen comes and is like, do you want this apple, which is actually poison? You look at it and go, you're okay, I have my own apples, thank you very much. So it's like you divert that then, and you can really see it, because a lot of the times, and they're showing me, like, say now someone's really hungry, even if something isn't that good and nutritious, you're gonna eat it because you're hungry, right? So what could be avoided, if you're able to see fully, you can see that the evil queen, you know, she looked a bit scary, and she, you know, if you really tested out the apple first, you know, she was a stranger, you know, you'd be able to avoid that. So if you were already full up with your own apples and you were full, you'd be able to look at the evil queen and be like, you know what, let me test this out. Actually, do you know what, I'm fine, because I have my own apples anyway. But when you're hungry, you overwrite all of that because you're hungry. So a lot of the times when we trying on our own journey to find that love within ourselves and that confidence within ourselves, sometimes if we don't see that in ourselves yet, people can step towards us and maybe say things that we'd like to that we like to hear, and that could make our inner child go, oh my god, I'm loved. Or we could, you know, have things said to us but there's no action there, but because we're hearing what could be, it's like naturally we're gonna listen to that because we're hearing it, and we might not see that within ourselves yet. So it's like we might fall into certain traps like that where we can get hurt, whereas it's like you've got your own apples now. You understand who you are now. You have that love poured into your heart because you did it yourself. You have that power within yourself because you did it to yourself, because you've been working on yourself. So it's like now when these people are coming with these apples, you're really able to check, like, you know what, I'm full. And let me just like test this out for, actually, do you know what, I'm full, so I'm able to see that, you know, from a higher perspective, and actually these apples don't seem that nutritious. I think there's something funny going on with them. I'm gonna walk straight past you. I hope this is making sense. So you're fully aware of who you are because you filled up your own basket first, and you know that being lonely, it doesn't mean that I always say isolation and time on your own, it's not a punishment. Spirit said that to me for a lot of my life, because I've spent a lot of my life on my own. Like, it's not a punishment, it's a gift, because it's a time period for you to get to know yourself and work on yourself and align with yourself. It's not a punishment at all. You know, it's an initiation, Spirit always says to me. So I think that you guys are realizing that with this Hermit card, and I see you guys fully aware that you're never alone. So you're not just going to like listen to like, you know, little words where the cup may be half empty. It's like, I know what I want now, so then the universe is bringing it in, you know. So final card, there we go, Wise Man. If it wasn't for the familiar songs that echo through my spine, I would have lost what is lost and never found my purpose. I need to say that again. If it wasn't for the familiar songs that echo through my spine, I would have lost what is lost and never found my purpose. So I feel like there's aha moments, you guys seeing, you know what, you may have treated, this is about connections, I really do feel that. You may have treated me that way and it was horrible when I went through it, but you taught me where I was slipping maybe on my boundaries. You taught me where I wasn't seeing the light within myself, and now I see all of that, and now I know what I want. Now I've become wise, and now I really see things from a higher perspective, and I really see things a lot deeper, and I've mastered that art. It's like you've mastered that lesson, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's the blessing, and that's what's setting the foundation for new to come in. We then have telling stories at the back of the deck. What words so tender can be spoken so bravely unless they are true from the truest of words. Yeah, it's like you're not, you're so showing up for yourself in the physical that words are just words. You need to see action. You need to see an actual result. And it's almost like there's this feeling of you looking at everything like in a business way, which is not a bad thing. Like, I'm giving this much of my energy, how much are you going to give? And let me see some results before I actually start pouring into it. And can you make me feel like I make myself feel? Have you really got what I need? You know, there's a lot of that, and I see you looking at it in that way, which is really interesting. And it's funny because we have Capricorn and Venus over this time period, so it's like, you know, you're really looking at it in that kind of like business sense as well, and like, could I really grow from this? Is this a good decision? There's this high maintenance feeling coming through, which is, you know, you're really tapping into that feeling. So yeah, that's what I have for you guys, pile number 2. I really hope that you enjoyed the reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching. Hey pile 3, welcome to your reading. So we are taking a look at what is the blessing that's coming in for you guys over this festive Christmas period. So you guys chose the blue calcite. I'm going to start with tarot, and then we're going to move on to your oracle cards. So let's get in. So pile number 3, please, spirit guides. What is pile number 3's Christmas blessing coming in for my pile number 3's? Tap me as the collective of my pile number 3's. I don't know why I'm being shown a circle. I feel like something's coming full circle for you guys. Pile number 3. Pile number 3's. Oh, goodness. I don't know why I'm being taken to like the ice. And then I'm being shown like a circle being created in the ice, and then the ice being removed. So there's something you can go down into the water. I don't know how that's going to correlate, but we'll get to it. But that was just something I was shown. I'm sure I saw that on Pingu. I don't know if you've ever watched Pingu when you were younger, that little penguin. I'm sure I saw something like that on Pingu. Pile number 3, please, spirit guides. Pile number 3's blessing this Christmas period. What is pile number 3's blessing this Christmas period? 10 of Cups. 10 of Pentacles. Oh my God. I heard harmony. Pile number 3's blessing this Christmas period. Pile number 3's blessing this Christmas period. What blessing is coming in for my pile number 3's this Christmas period? King of Pentacles. Back of the deck we have the Knight of Swords. It's almost making me feel like the ice is melting. I'm able to feel again. It's like things feel fluid again. Things feel like they're speeding up. It's like it reminds me of like when I think of the 3D and then the higher realms. Like whenever sometimes I'll feel my body manifesting into the physical when I'm just waking up. And the way I've described it in some of my videos before, it starts off feeling like air, so everything's really quick and really fast and moving really, you know, rapidly, and I can just manifest quickly as I can. And then that air turns into like evaporization, and then it turns into water, and as it's condensing into something I can actually touch, things move slower. But even when it's water, I'm still able to alchemize it a little bit and move around. Whereas when I actually feel like I'm in my physical body, then I feel like it's turned to ice, so everything's slow and everything's physical. And it's funny that I saw ice when I was tapping in, and then it's almost like I was being shown like that circle in the ice and then water there. So it's almost like the ice is melting. It's like I'm able to move again. Things are speeding up. I'm able to maybe feel again with the water element coming through of emotions. It's like I'm able to feel again. I'm able to maneuver again. I can kind of see the way forward. It's like, think of when there's a lot of ice, it freezes, so you can't see what it's frozen on top of. But there's so much realization when ice melts of what was behind the ice. And there's a feeling of that, like, what is the ice representing though for my pile 3s? Stagnation. That's what it is. It's stagnation. It's like a clear out. It's like you're feeling yourself again. It's like there's been a review, and I feel like you're feeling something again. It's reminding me of when I do chakra upgrades, because I've been practicing, like doing like energy work and stuff like that, because I've been training to do like shamanic healing and stuff. And I've been doing chakra upgrades, and what I find when I do the upgrades on the chakras is it starts off like a condensed energy, like a physical energy on the chakras, and then the more we work through it, that energy starts to flush away, and it's no longer like ice or plastic or glass or anything like that. It starts to like mush its way and kind of clear itself out, and there's like a feeling of you guys feeling something that you haven't been able to feel for some time. It's like you guys are feeling emotions or feeling that outpour of love, or allowing yourself to just see abundance after a time of maybe not feeling like there was anything to look forward to. A lot of inspiration in regards to like your physical work, or it could even be like just looking around at life. Things may have felt a little bit stale, or a little bit black and white, or a little bit you may have had a little bit of brain fog. So I almost felt brain fog as I tapped into this pile. I don't know if you guys have been experiencing that, but I almost felt like I can't get my words out, like my words aren't coming through. So you guys may have been looking around you and feeling a little bit still, whereas there's this element of creativity and inspiration where you guys are able to see the abundance around you to then be able to put that into motion moving forward. It's like the ice is melting, you're seeing things clearer, you're seeing things better, you're able to move strategically. So there's a lot of that coming through. I want to get deeper though. I feel like there's more to that story, because I feel like that's only given us a little bit. I'm gonna go get my little tarot cards and just pull a little bit more, because I feel like I need to get more. Do you know what I mean? Let me get my little deck. I hope you guys have been having a nice little festive period so far. I've been eating foods I really shouldn't be eating. Lots of chocolates and stuff, but it's the festive period, so it's fine. That's what I tell myself anyway. Pile number three is Christmas blessing, because I feel like that told me a story, but it didn't give me the actual blessing. Pile number 3 is Christmas blessing, please, spirit guides. Pile number 3 is Christmas blessing. Oh, we have the World. I'll do it like this. We have the Knight of Cups. Some of you guys haven't been connecting to spirit as easy as you would have liked to. I feel like some of you guys may have been feeling a little bit of trouble connecting to the higher realms, because when I'm talking about everything being 3D and everything in the physical, like ice, it's solid, but then it's like the ice is melting, so it's like I'm able to tap into those other layers connecting to spirit. So some of you guys may be having spiritual gifts breaking. For others of you, I just see you guys getting a lot of downloads and information from spirit that are giving you this kind of like light that's helping you then move forward and build moving forward, because there's something in regards to your career, or something in regards to how you want to build in this physical incarnation, but I feel like you needed certain messages to come through from spirit. And I feel like with that circle and water coming through in the ice, it's like there's messages being passed through, because the Knight of Cups here, I'm really taking as information from spirit coming through, spirit bringing energy through, your higher self aligning with energy. And I want to know as well why. I feel like you guys were put in like a period where you had to focus on the physical. So you may have found it a little bit hard to be in that more divine feminine passive energy to receive, because you were needed in the present, you were needed in the physical, you were needed to be in that masculine energy to fully apply yourself. And then I think it got to a point where it just felt stale, and now the waters are changing. I do see psychic gifts coming through, specifically mediumship for some of you guys. Pile number 3 is Christmas blessing. Pile number 3 is Christmas blessing. We have the 5 of Cups. Pile number 3 is Christmas blessing, please, spirit guides. Pile number 3 is Christmas blessing. We have the King of Swords. Yeah, it's like you're reaching an altered state of mind where you're seeing things from a higher perspective, and then you're seeing the abundance in everything around you. 9 of Pentacles. It's like you're getting an abundant mindset back, where I see a lot of ideas coming to you. It's like you had to wait for something to be lifted for you to really understand. It's like you're being rewired back in to connect with your higher self. So it's like, oh, I kind of see the mountain that I need to go down now, and I see that pathway, and I'm feeling again. So I'm feeling this depth, and I'm tapping into my heart. So it's like my heart's leading the way, and it's opened me up to maybe wanting to try this with my career, or this with my everyday life, or wanting to bring this in. So now I'm tapping into that, and now that's like a new desire that I want. It's hyping me up and bringing that energy forward so that I know where I'm going moving forward, and it's bringing me that zest for life, that fire. But I needed to just be solely focused on where I'm at now to kind of apply myself physically to get there. Otherwise, I would have just run straight past the goalpost, which would have been the first step, and try to jump onto the top step. But I needed to just only see the first step first and work towards it until the second step could be revealed to me. Otherwise, I would have just tried jumping all the way up, because I feel like you're quite a go-getter. I feel like you're someone that's quite a perfectionist. You'll do a certain amount of healing, or you'll reach a certain point in your career, and then it's almost like, what's next? And I think that Spirit's almost kind of not boxed you in, but I feel like Spirit's made sure you've been super hyper focused on every day, so you could put in this physical effort first before jumping to where you needed to go next, so you didn't kind of get ahead of yourself, because sometimes you'll take on more than you can chew. And I feel like Spirit wanted you to apply yourself in a full extent to something. It could be healing, or it could be a career. It's something that's created a solid foundation for you. And I think that this time period for you over the Christmas period is to look around at everything you've built so far, whether that's your everyday life, your home life, your inner world, healing that you've done and let go of so much, or it could be career. Look what I've done. And there's this kind of like cheer coming in, and you fully seeing that. And I think you're in that period now where there's these downloads coming through, so you're understanding, and even parts of your journey that didn't work out with this Five of Cups, it's like these Two of Cups is still standing. So it's like you're looking at these Three of Cups that fell and gone, okay, well, that was a blessing in disguise, that one, so I'm glad that didn't happen. And that one, now I know what to do differently, so when I move forward, I can use the wisdom that I learned from that shutting down to move differently this way. And I feel like there's this wisdom that's being achieved, and you're seeing things with a higher awareness with this King of Swords here. And I think that you're ready then over the next couple of months. I feel like, first of all, you'll tap into this inspiration, because there's a lot of downloads coming through, or ideas, creative outbursts coming through. So I see you almost drawing a map, and then I see 2023 you going back then to kind of like push forward and kind of create more abundance, then step onto the second step, which is all part of the process. But I think that your blessing is having a lot of aha moments and downloads, and realizing how far you've come, and really basking in everything that you've already done, because the blessings that you have in your life right now, Spirit's almost calling you to turn your attention to them, because you brought them to yourself. And there's almost like a pat on the back, like, you've done this is all a blessing, you got yourself to this first step. Enjoy all of the fruits here, because the more you enjoy them, the more excited you'll feel to, you know, plant more seeds and grow more. So that's what's coming through. We literally have the Nine of Pentacles. So there's something that Spirit's saying is very abundant in your life, or there's something that you've done that you've achieved, which is huge, Spirit's saying. I don't know if it's like a goal you had in mind for a while and you achieved it, and Spirit's saying to focus on that right now, because I feel like there's this inspiration energy coming through where you wanted to run forward again and go after another goal. But Spirit's saying enjoy this now, because the more you do it, the more you're feeling that blessing of gratitude, and all this creativity is going to come through, and that's what's signaling it, you know. So it's almost like putting the brakes on and really reviewing where you've just come from as this new energy comes in. Yeah. Spirit's always coming through like, you're the blessing. You are the blessing. Pile number 3. Pile number 3 is Christmas blessing. Took me a while to get into that, because I feel like your mind for a while has been in a masculine energy of doing, and searching and physically focused, that as I tapped into your energy, I naturally took on that energy where I was like, I'm in this masculine energy. And then I was having trouble bringing my words in, because I was doubting words that I was saying, or doubting if I should relay things, because I was very focused on just the physical. And then as time came in, I kind of like surrendered into the receiving, and then it kind of made sense. And I think that's kind of what's happening over this Christmas period. And I see a lot of joy and excitement, and it's reminding me, and I'm not comparing you to what's his name from A Christmas Carol, Ebenezer Scrooge. I'm not comparing you to Scrooge, but it's reminding me of like at the end of the Christmas Carol, and he'd been so focused on like what he believed and how Christmas was bad, and then at the end of it, everything he sees that he once kind of like looked over and was like, meh, he enjoys, like he skates on that ice with those kids, and he goes to see Tiny Tim, and he brings that big turkey to him, and he just is excited again, you know what I mean? And he goes home to see his family, and it's this excitement. And I'm not saying you're Ebenezer Scrooge, but I think that you've been super focused on the physical, to the point that there's almost this light-hearted energy that you're falling into, because I see someone like, you may have been feeling over the past couple of months as you've been very focused on maybe perfecting something, maybe getting agitated by people around you, or getting frustrated with things around you. And I almost see things that you would have been frustrated by you laughing at. That's why they were showing me Scrooge when he was laughing at the end and finding joy, because it's like, I see like things in the Christmas period, you laughing at just nothing, you know what I mean? And that's why I hear laughter at the beginning, like you're laughing at nothing, and you're enjoying just the simple things, because it's like, I got myself here to the point that I can really enjoy these things now. Let me just chill out and enjoy this before I move forward. So there's a lot of that coming through. Pile number 3. Oh, this card has come out for every pile. Renewal. Love that. And I felt it. It's funny because we're literally in the midst of December, the winter period. But there's such a fresh perspective, at least going on in my collective, that I've been tapping into, which I really love. It's been really interesting. So I love that. Let me just put the other cards down and I'll channel for that. Pile number 3. Pile number 3. Yeah, it's like tapping back to the inner child and seeing the excitement of life again. We have focus. One more card from this deck, please, Spirit Guides. One more card for this deck. Pile number 3. Pile number 3. Ooh. Creation. Yeah. On the back of the deck we have Spirit, which I'll show you now. Hang on. We have Creation at the back of the deck. Let me just make sure that's, there we go. Renewal, focus, and creation. Yeah, it's like, and you see how her eyes are closed, so she's in this state of receiving. And then we have the astrology signs at the back. It's like there's messages being brought forth as you're in that state of play and receiving and surrendering and enjoying. It's like time flies fast when you're having fun. It's like you're having fun, so there's a lot of messages coming through. You're relaxed, so there's a lot of downloads coming through. There's ideas coming through. There's creativity, and it's you being aligned with your Akashic records and seeing those timelines in front of you. Because I think naturally for you guys do have psychic foresight where you're able to see timelines in front of you. But I think at times maybe your higher self purposely puts a little bit of a shutter down so you can fully focus on where you're at right now, because you have such a go-getter, let me tick everything off the list. You may have a lot of like Virgo energy, Capricorn energy, Taurus energy. You're such Aries as well. A lot of cardinal then, because I'm being taken like Cancer, Libra. A lot of that coming through, that it's like if you were to see all that you're here to achieve, you would not stop. Like you would literally just be ticking it off. I need to do this, I need to do that. There'd be no rest for the wicked, right? Like you would just keep going. So Spirit's like, at times there's almost like a bit of a cap that your higher self will like put over you. Let's just focus on one thing at a time and focus on this right now, you know? So you may have got to the end of the dome recently and be feeling agitated, like I need to do more. And Spirit's like, let's just sit in this dome. It's reminding me of The Simpsons when they put the dome over Springfield. It's like, let me just sit in this dome, and then when it's done, and I've enjoyed everything in this dome, because I'm looking at the flowers I planted in this dome, I'm looking at the houses I've created in this dome, I'm looking at everything. And then once I've received it and I'm dancing about and I've had that time of play and I really am nurturing it, you know, within me and accepting it, then the dome's going to be lifted up, and then I can see more areas to kind of like unlock and grow from. But because I had that time to play, I'll have all these new ideas of new things I can do. So I think that's where you're at. And that's why we have focus and creation here after renewal, because it's like, I almost feel like it's a process you go on through life. It's like you have playtime, then you have inspiration time, then you have planning time, then you have focus time, and then you go back to playtime. And it's like it constantly happens. And I feel like every shift, sometimes the shifts are quite easy. You'll happily jump from one shift to another, whereas other shifts, it's like, should I really be doing this? Should I really be doing this? I need to stay, you know, working, or I'm getting frustrated. But it's this cycle you continuously go on, you guys, because I feel like you naturally are creators. I don't know much about what they called human design. I don't know much about human design, but I'm sure there's people that are manifestors, that will generators. This is what I mean, I don't know. But there's a certain design where people naturally create, and I feel like that's you. I can't tell you much about it. I don't know anything about human design at all. But if you know what that is in the comments, you can maybe comment that so that people can see. But I don't know why I'm being taken to human design. Some of you guys may be studying it. But I'm sure there's like a manifestor or a creator or a generator that I'm being taken there, that you guys are. Like, you naturally are creating constantly. Let's pull your final cards then. So pile number 3, final cards for my pile number 3, a Christmas blessing for my pile number 3s. We have darkest hour. There in the void of thy darkness swells the shadow of the soul, swallowing the wickedness into the blackness of its wholeness. So some of you guys, it could be energetic. Some of you guys, you could have been literally going through a void state, or you've gone through an ego death and you've been super focused on doing a lot of shadow work and doing a lot of inner work, where you've been really focused on it. And Spirit's like, let's start creating now, because it's from the void that we create. And I think that that's where you're being turned to now. And I think maybe you haven't seen that lift from the void, or had that aha moment in that void of like, everything's dark, everything's plain, I have no inspiration, where it's almost like that's being lifted in December. So you're starting to create out of the void then, and create that life that you want, you know. So some of you guys, it could have been an ego death energetically, but for some of you guys, it's to do with career, where you want to head in the physical world. Take it as it resonates, because it's going to be different for all of you. Pile number 3 is Christmas blessing. The unknown. Think on it and you will stumble, for the heart is a ghost upon the unknown. Let it bleed into the depths, bearing nothing but desire. Yeah, so it's like that dome's being lifted. Like I said, you're opening up to more creation. You're opening up to... I'm really being taken to where it says, think on it and you will stumble. It's like, you know that you're here to create and you've been building. So it's like, now that there's a block here, and it's not a block, but I think that you've done all that you needed to do. Your hands are aching, you're ignoring your hands are aching, you're tired, you're ignoring, you're tired. And it's like, why is nothing happening? Why is nothing happening? And it's like, because you're being called to surrender now and get excited again. Because by doing that, the dome's going to lift, and then you'll be able to be excited and you can play and then you can build there. But if you keep staying in this energy, you're not going to have the inspiration, because you're only seeing the 4 walls. So you're being called to ponder your mind outward now before moving forward. That's definitely something that's coming through. Yeah, what have we got at the back of the deck? We have gatherings. That's a beautiful card. Gather, gather, festive witches, speak of joy and drink to wishes, take one, give two, celebrate in all blisses. Yeah, I think the blessing is you guys seeing all that you've done for yourself and really enjoying the festive period and enjoying where you've got yourself to, because there's almost this feeling of look back to 2 years ago, look back to a year ago, look back to 3 years ago. Were you so content in yourself like you are now that you would have been able to feel confident during this time period? Look back to 2 years ago and 3 years ago. Were you this advanced in your physical life? Did you have the money that you have now? Were you able to buy people presents the way that you can now? Were you able to treat people the way that you can now? Were you able to treat yourself the way that you can now? Take a look at where you were 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, 6 months ago. See how much you've put into yourself and savor these blessings, because you brought these blessings into your reality, and you will have more, but focus on what you have right now, because you've done so much for yourself. This is a time to really taste the food that you've cooked, you know. And I think you're really seeing it, because then again, it's like the laughter. It's like you're just seeing the laughter of life. And I just keep being shown Scrooge when he goes to those kids that was skating on the ice, and he was he kind of was like, bah humbug, when he saw those kids sliding on the ice. And then at the end of the movie, he's like, he runs over and he slides down the ice and he falls over, and everyone thinks he's going to be annoyed, but he gets up and laughs, and everyone's like, oh my god, because it's just like he sees, you know, he sees everything from a high perspective. And it's like, I have all of these blessings, let's share them out and let's enjoy them. Let's get that big turkey. Do you know what I mean? Let's do all of this. Like, it's all here for our take, and let's enjoy it. And I see you guys really feeling that over the festive period, in a way that you've never maybe been able to enjoy it before, I'm being told. because you've climbed up another step. So yeah, that's what I have for you, pal number 3. I really hope that you enjoyed the reading. Hit the thumbs up and comment down below if you did. I'm sending you guys all of my love. I hope you have a beautiful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are watching. And hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching.